My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. I hope you all are doing well. As it stands right now, it is 4:30. The sun will be going down at 5:15. Outside of the forest here and at the treetops, it is incredibly windy. So having good wind protection will be important for this trip. That's why I'm thinking of this spot here. We have all of these bushes, these trees blocking the wind. It's not a bad option, everybody. Temperature-wise, at the moment, it is 37 degrees. I would love to sit around and talk with you all, but unfortunately I better rush, not only because it's getting dark out, but also because of this. I've been driving through rain for the last 2 hours, so it could rain at any time, so I best set up my shelter real quick. By the way, everybody, blowing air into your sleeping pad in cold conditions is not the best thing to do because basically you're blowing moisture on the inside of it. In other words, the sleeping pad is not going to perform as well as it could. But in this case, I'm fighting the sun, or I should say the lack of sunlight. For me, it is better to get this inflated, get the job done, than to inflate this with the stuff sack. We have camp set up by exactly 5:15. The sun is going down, it's getting dark. Perfect timing. I'll tell you what, when it comes to setting up camp, not only does it take quite a while naturally, but when you're filming, it adds so much more time. Anyways, everyone, I am ready for a cup of coffee. Let's get the stove out and let's get that going. As it stands right now, it's raining. And let me tell you all, that is a cold rain. When I pulled into the parking lot at the beginning of the trailhead, it read 35 degrees. So right now, we're getting really, really close to freezing. But obviously, not close enough for it to snow yet. Coming soon though. Later on tonight, everybody, it should snow. I love it. I tell you what, everybody, it feels like a long time since I've filmed a video, but the truth is it really hasn't. But I've been so busy and I've just been all over the place. I've been all over the country doing some business. Most recently, I was down in Florida wrapping up some projects that started many, many years ago. Projects that I'm not really involved in, but through family and so on, I kind of got like dragged into it. Anyways, all of that is taken care of. I'm back home. I don't have to go anywhere anytime soon. Oh yeah, traveling is fun, but I'm glad to be here in the mountains. It's always interesting going back to Florida. It's such an interesting state, and where I used to live was a very interesting place, and it still is. I've been gone on 2 separate trips, and both times that I took off, Susie would film an overnight adventure and she would share it with you all. I tell you what, after I got back and I edited those adventures, I was so proud of her. She did such a great job. Not only did I love those adventures, but you all did too. She received so many views on those videos for a female who's doing outdoor camping and so on. Susie's one of the highest viewed on YouTube. The only exception are like the ladies who show off their bodies. That's a completely different type of camping video. They do get a ton of views though. Now that the trips are over, it's back to business as usual. With one exception, Susie is definitely going to be back in more adventures coming up into the future. Everybody loves Susie so much, and they should, because she really is an incredible woman. She did share my secrets with you all, such as being in GQ magazine. It's like I told like the members on YouTube and on Patreon that stuff, but I wasn't really going to share that with anybody else. It kind of felt like bragging, but I guess if she let the cat out of the bag, so to speak, I guess I can talk about it. So it is in the Taiwanese version of GQ magazine. Still counts, still cool. I'm not entirely sure what the issue's about. The magazine is in a different language, and I haven't taken the time to like translate everything. I translated my little article, and that is it. And I tell you what, I'll go ahead and put the little article on screen now. Even with that magazine being the Taiwanese version, I am very humbled by that. I really do appreciate the opportunity to be in that magazine and to talk about the outdoors. When I started this channel, I never expected for everything that has happened to have happened. The truth is, I've turned down so many opportunities because I don't want to be a celebrity more than just being on YouTube. I don't want to do anything more than that. I've been approached to do countless TV shows. Let's see, there was Discovery Channel, History Channel, PBS. There was some other channel, I don't remember what it was, something odd, or at least here in the United States it was something odd, but it had something to do with Les Stroud. It was going to be like survival on an island or something or other. I don't quite remember the details on that, it's been so long. In the end, it really doesn't matter. The point is that I really do appreciate all of the opportunities that have come through this channel. The greatest gift comes in the form of comments and emails and letters and packages from you all. There's not a day that goes by that I don't hear from someone who has been helped by this channel. And that's why I started it. I started this channel to help people out. And that's it. I don't want to be on television. I don't want to be a celebrity. In fact, it kind of freaks me out when I get noticed in public, which happens all the time now, just about everywhere I go. I shouldn't say it freaks me out, but you know, it's an odd feeling because I'm just some guy filming YouTube videos. I don't feel like I'm anything special. You know, I'm just camping. I'm trying to help people. That's it. But, yeah, I really do appreciate you all, and I appreciate GQ Magazine and everybody else. Thank you so much. Cheers. The big question here, folks, is whether or not this is just a passing shower and is going to stop in 5 minutes, or is it like on for the rest of the night. I could sit out here if it stops and goes, but if it's going to be steady, this is not going to work. It is simply too cold to get wet. It's light, but if it becomes steady, this could be a problem. If you're ever out in the cold and your hands are getting cold, you may be tempted to blow on them just like that, right? Doing that is a big mistake. It feels good for a minute, but then you'll pay for it later. When you blow warm air from your lungs onto your hands, there's also moisture in that warm air. It will wet your hands, it will soak your gloves. Again, it may feel good for a second, but only for a second. As you keep doing it and doing it, your hands become wetter and wetter and wetter, and then all of a sudden your hands are absolutely freezing. Warm your hands up in different ways. Do not blow on them. Look at all of the moisture in my breath there. When you blow that into your hands, into your gloves, you're gonna soak them. That's why it's bad news. The same applies for putting your head inside of your sleeping bag and blowing in it and warming it up. All you're doing is introducing moisture. It feels good for a minute, but then you pay the price later. So don't do it, folks. Without a doubt, it's rain. It's not snow yet. I really wish it was snow and not rain. I mean, this is gonna freeze, turn to ice, and it could be dangerous getting out of here tomorrow, but hey, it is what it is. As you have seen, I've been setting up protection from the wind and the rain, and I've done this with ground sheets. I brought 2 additional ground sheets with me for this exact purpose. I can use these basically as shields. I have one as the back and one as the top. This was super simple to set up, very quick, and now I have protection from the back and also from overhead. With the storm system that's coming through, this is not supposed to be a big rainmaker, so I did not bring a tarp with me. But just in case, I brought these 2 ground sheets, and together they are acting as a tarp. And that's the thing, folks, you always have to be prepared. With this event here, they were calling for rain after 4 a.m. But yet, as soon as I hit the road, it was raining. That's one reason why you always have to be prepared. By the way, everybody, when it comes to the way that I attach the tarp to the lines that I put up, this tarp here, the yellow one, it has hooks on it. So I was able to hook right onto that line. The problem is that the hook would slide. Because of that, I used a simple trick. I took a stick, wrapped it up in the cordage, and that will prevent the hook from sliding on that line. That's just a very simple trick to make your life nice and easy when it comes to setting up a quick shelter. Having the stove going is really nice, everybody. With this wall here and this roof, it's holding in a lot of heat, as you all can see with my breath here. Oh man. At the same time, we are up here in the clouds. As far as I could tell, it's just rain. I don't think it's snow at the time being, but it's coming. Luckily, it's not really that cold tonight. I believe the low is supposed to be around 23, but like right now, I don't know, 34 degrees, something like that. It's not bad at all. All we have to do is wait 10 minutes and we'll have dinner. Tonight I have a peak refuel meal. This is venison country casserole. Greg, my friend, thank you so much for this. I really do appreciate it, buddy. I hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving. Speaking of which, everybody, how was your Thanksgiving? Hopefully you had a great time, you enjoyed some good food, and you were thankful for all of the wonderful things that you have. I have to be honest, everybody, my Thanksgiving was absolute chaos. It was just chaos. In truth, it wasn't that good. It really was pretty terrible, but luckily it ended on a very good note. So check this out, everybody. My son, he comes to town for Thanksgiving, and he comes up with his brand new dog. He just adopted this dog, rescued it, and apparently like this dog had been like abused or something like that, so she's like super skittish. So he comes home, he brings this dog. I think he said it was a lab and husky mix or something mixed with husky. Anyway, she is a beautiful dog. She has one blue eye, one brown eye, a beautiful coat. Anyway, so our son, he arrives with this dog. And maybe he didn't know, but like she's super skittish. She's incredibly afraid. So he brings her inside of the house. She just wants to hide in a corner. We get her on the couch, we get her comfortable, and everything's going great, right? This is the day before Thanksgiving. The next day, our son says that he's going to visit a friend of his and he wants to leave the dog there. I protested. I said, dude, she is way too scared. She's weirded out. You need to be with this dog, right? He stated over and over again that it was no big deal. She was fine. So my wife agreed to watch the dog. I protested and my son left to go visit his friend. So after a few hours, the dog needed outside to pee, right? So Susie grabs the leash, hooks it to the collar, opens the door. That's when that dog bolts, breaks out of her hand, takes off, runs down the road, and is gone. We spend the rest of the day looking for this dog. Eventually we get in touch with our son. He shows up, he starts looking. So you can imagine, right? Everybody's scared, everybody's worried, everybody's concerned. Well, we do not find the dog. The next day on Thanksgiving, the dog is still gone. So it's like Susie's upset. She thinks it's her fault. My son is blaming himself. He's upset. So there were some tears shed and whatnot. We did have Thanksgiving dinner, but it was like being at a funeral, right? So the next day, no dog. The next day, no dog. The following day, my son is going to leave and go back to college. Nobody thought the dog would come back. Later that night, we get a phone call from our neighbor. Hey, I just saw your dog. It ran behind your house. So we bolt out the door. Eventually, we found the dog, got it inside. The dog is perfectly fine. She's okay. Oh my gosh. It was a great end to a horrible Thanksgiving. I am thankful for my family. I'm thankful for the food I had. I'm ready to move on. I don't want to think about this Thanksgiving ever again. Like everybody was just so upset. So, like I said, it really was like being at a funeral. That is really, really good, folks. I have no idea who Chad Menendez is or why he is tied with this company, but whatever. It's kind of funny. There's a quote from him on the side of the bag, but it doesn't tell you who this guy is. I mean, it could just be like a hunter. He's just like Chad from Minnesota or something, I don't know. Comment down below if you know who Chad Menendez is without looking him up. I don't think I've mentioned this so far in this adventure, but originally I had no plan to come out here today. But oh no, we're out here in the forest and snow is coming in. When I checked the weather this morning, it said absolutely nothing about snow. It stated that rain was possible after midnight. Then around noon, I checked the weather again, and what do you know? 70% chance of snow. At 4,000 feet, they're calling for a dusting. At 5,000 feet, 1 inch. To be specific, we are at 5,484 feet. My friends, it is time for me to call it a night. It's not all that late. It's about 9:20. But I tell you what, it's foggy, it's rainy, it's super windy out there. There's just nothing to do, so I might as well just call it a night. I'm really looking forward to getting up in the morning and seeing what the landscape looks like. I'm crossing my fingers for snow, folks. No matter what, this has been a great trip. I mean, it was like a spur of the moment thing. I just packed a bag real quick and ran out here. It's raining just a little bit heavier than before. Hopefully, it'll turn to snow soon. Everyone, I'm going to seal up the tent. I will see you all in the morning. Good night for now. Folks, it is time for an update. It is almost 10 o'clock, and guess what? It just started snowing outside. The very first bit of snow for the 2023 winter season. Yes, here we go, folks. It is on. Oh man. Without a doubt, the temperatures have been dropping. It's beginning to look a little bit icy outside. Obviously, the temperature is getting lower. We have snow flying now. We've done it. Finally, the weather was somewhat right, kind of wrong, pretty much wrong, but it is snowing. It's snowing. Good morning, my friends. It is incredibly beautiful here in the forest. As you all can see, it did snow just a little, just enough to kind of cover everything. Underneath that snow is a thin layer of ice that's quite heavy. So like the tent itself, I mean, it's like a rock. This tarp, super heavy. But the most impressive aspect about this morning is the winds. Inside the forest, we are almost completely protected. It's unbelievable. It really is. As for last night, I slept great. I turned in around 10 o'clock and I slept all night long, no issues. It was so rainy and windy that I easily fell asleep, so that was pretty nice. Listening to the rain on your tent, I could tell when it turned over to snow. I think I filmed a clip, but it's like the sound was different. You can tell. Instead of just like hitting the tent, it was like pattering against it. Yeah, folks, it was a good night. It's gonna be a great day. I have to say that everything in camp is frozen, including my fuel canister. That's okay, I planned for that. In fact, I left the stove on the ground on purpose, and that's because I have solid fuel with me. Solid fuel doesn't care how cold it is. It works well basically at any elevation, at any temperature. We will have coffee in just a minute. The water's almost done. After that, the plan is to pack up and get out of here. This was an impromptu, quick trip. I'm really glad I was able to come out. I really am. I just wanted to get out and experience the first snow of the 2023 season with you all. Now, it actually has snowed a few times previously, but at times that nobody predicted. In fact, there's piles of snow outside of the forest here still. So at some point in time, it snowed inches and inches, and it hasn't melted off. So far this winter, everybody is forecasting a ton of snow. So we shall see. Starting in December, going into January, I believe, is when it's really supposed to kick in. This coffee is fantastic, everybody. It's nice to have something this warm when it's this cold out. Speaking of which, the temperature, 23 degrees Fahrenheit. I'll tell you what, everybody. I have a few shout-outs that I want to give real quick before I forget. So, Greg, thank you so much for the Peak Refuel meals. I really appreciate it. That's one of the meals that I had last night. You're the man, Greg. I hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving. Mike, my friend, thank you so much for the knife. I really do appreciate it. It's really cool. I like it. Chris, thank you so much for the coffee, my good friend. You too are appreciated. I hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving. Arlene, thank you so much for the calendar. It is beautiful. Lastly, we have Dale. Dale is someone who has taken control of his life, taken control of his health, and he has turned things around in the most impressive of ways. Ever so often I hear about this. Someone who's watched the channel, somebody who's been inspired, they've taken control of their lives, no more excuses, no more bullshit, and they put in the hard work. And with Dale here, like, he's dropped weight, he's gotten off medicine, he's feeling better, he's feeling alive. So, buddy, more power to you. Dale stated in a message that he stopped making excuses, and I really respect that. When it comes to making excuses, we all do it. We all hold ourselves back from doing things. Maybe it's working out, maybe it's eating right, maybe it's going out for a backpacking trip or a camping trip, whatever it may be. We all make excuses, and the most important thing is that we gotta stop doing that. All we're doing is harming ourselves. If you've been around on the channel long enough, you know that I don't like excuses and I don't like bullshit. And guess what? Excuses are bullshit. I don't want to hear excuses. When I was a supervisor a long time ago, I took no BS. In other words, I took no excuses. We're gonna get the job done, we're gonna do it right, and if something pops up, we'll deal with it. But I want no excuses. I ran 2 very successful departments in that factory. Yes, it was a factory. It was crazy. I've spoken about that work a long time ago. I don't miss that at all. It was exceptionally dangerous and people got hurt all the time. But yeah, that's a story for a different day. Dale, my friend, good job for you for not making any excuses. You know, talking about that job, I could have stuck with it. I was making incredible money. Like, our bonuses were unreal. It's like the factory had a bonus program and it was all based upon waste. And because I came in, I turned things around, no more excuses, no more bullshit. If something's wrong, let's fix it. No more waste. Like, we had incredible bonuses every single month, but I absolutely hated that job. And I got to the point where I was like, you know, I can't keep making excuses for this. I've got to make a change. So I did. And here I am today. Dale, my friend, this cheers is for you. Without a doubt, everybody, it is super, super windy, and the winds are supposed to continue rocking and rolling all day. In fact, let's check the weather real quick. Winds will be sustained at 30 miles an hour with gusts up to 50. That's really important, folks. I'm glad we checked this. We need to get out of here before those winds kick up. The road out of here is very, very narrow. It is surrounded by trees, and trees fall on that road all the time. So it is best to not waste any time. You know what I mean? I'll tell you what, everybody, because of the strong winds that are going to come in, I'm going to finish up this coffee and begin breaking down camp. Plus, I don't want to talk too much. I don't want to bore you. I am not Tony from AB Camping. I can't talk for like 3 hours straight. Now, of course, I'm just picking on Tony. That's what we do. We pick on each other. In fact, he was giving me the other day for these gloves here because it has the Nike symbol. Said that's very fashionable or something like that. The thing is, I stole these from my kids, from my son, I don't know, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. They were, of course, small, as you can see, but I tell you what, they're perfect. The palms are covered, some of the fingers are covered, but yet your fingertips are exposed so you can do what you need to do. I run hot, so even at 23 degrees Fahrenheit, this is what I want. I personally don't want anything other than this. I can do everything that I need to do while staying warm. Have you guys seen his van? That thing is sweet. You know, it has a nickname, by the way. Did you know that? I don't know if he wants me telling you all this, but the secret nickname is Tug Tug. You'll have to ask him why that is. I don't know. I'm not sure, but he told me it was Tug Tug. I don't know. You all are thinking the exact same thing I am. I don't get it. Tony, explain yourself, man. My friends, I am all packed up and I'm ready to go. The last thing that I need to do is ensure that I didn't leave anything behind. I want to thank you all very much for joining me for this trip. I really do appreciate it. I hope you all have enjoyed this trip as much as I have. Before you go, hit the like button. It helps a lot. If you feel like supporting the channel, YouTube, Patreon, you could join the Wolf Pack. Make sure to check out my second YouTube channel, A Quiet Place Adventures. You will find adventures just like these, with one exception. There's no talking. Everyone, take care, be well, strength and honor.